Pulketa. I'm Elsie. Welcome to the Roundtable podcast. We've created the space for Ni-Vanuatu women to speak freely on issues affecting us today. Let's navigate life in the islands together. Join me as I speak to a new guest every episode and ask the questions you've always wanted to ask. Ale, Yumistorian. This project is made possible with the support of the We Rise Coalition and PACMAS. Ministry of Education partnered with Sista and they launched an essay competition for secondary students. Now, the essay competition looked at how students, so young Ni-Vanuatu girls and boys, how they could address violence against women and girls on public transport. The Public Land Transport Authority, took steps to come on social media to stand up against violence, particularly in these situations. They took the steps to warn bus drivers, taxi drivers, that sexual harassment of women was unacceptable. And they stood up and said, that this type of behavior needs to stop. And this was only after a series of women and cases reported that they were jumping out of buses because they were scared of being assaulted. They were jumping out of buses because these drivers were actually assaulting them. And there was a whole discussion around this, and a lot of authorities were coming forward blaming women, telling them what to do, what not to do in order to prevent them, not being assaulted, not getting raped. But they weren't coming forward to tell men to stop raping, to stop assaulting women and girls who are using their transport services to get from one place to the other. Now, today, the conversation is slowly shifting. I'd like to believe that more people are putting more focus and trying to hold these men accountable for their actions. But it's still a very big problem today. And so with me today, I have two guests to talk about this topic. On this episode, we are talking about safe transportation in Port Vila. I have with me today Thompson Natouivi, a young man from Futuna who is currently studying Bachelor's of Civil Engineering at USP while working part-time at Tulite Projects Limited, which is a construction and consulting company. And I also have with me Rosina Kaimbang, Sista's project coordinator. Hi, Tuvala. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, Elsie.
Hi, Elsie. So I've chosen Thompson and Rosina to join me on today's episode because they're both young Ni-Vanuatu people. They're very open-minded. And, they've had their experience with this whole transportation situation in Port Vila. And, they have an understanding on the importance of safe transportation. So before we delve into this conversation, I just want to get your perspective. Why do you think that this topic is an important conversation to have?
Okay, yes, thank you, Elsie. Hello, Bike and everyone, listeners. Okay, so yes, this topic to me personally is a good topic. First of all, safe transportation. Lo Port Vila, within town, lo Port Vila. They talk about safe transportation, and me mainly mean how one man or one woman, boy or girl, and me take transportation from one point to the other. Before you meet bin stop harem, say transportation is much more safer, but now it's becoming more risky. an individual blo pa mi cham lo bus or even lo own vehicle blem blo pa mi travel ko one place pa mi save coincide lo an accident ata or young fella liston ng klase brok or either girl or woman we cham lo bus pa she got raped, say she got raped. So maybe one lola topic where you miss have talem semi important blo you must discuss every day blo mi come one norm we come normal blo man only take him sena mi one situation where Mr. happen no Port Vila town and what are the changes by me take him blo by you miss have help reduce all incident. Thank you.
Okay, thank you Elsie, thank you Thompson. Lumi topic lo perspective lumi topic me really one important topic we miss supposed to talk about plan there. And me from Nomosi, we have incidents coming around right now. Mr. happen. We have all drivers. We got all drivers will drive more transport. All when that is transport, include taxi, include pass, include lara something too. We list using loli move all man from one place into another. So all form of transportation. Sometimes I no feel safe. Lo plan de lo all liang balablo tete so. Kadal something will lista happen, you will go boy, you'll kill a lista chamad lol pass, or lista accident, some will live in death, some will cast a more big flag kill, some or symptoms in Italem, cattle kill will rape and say lol pass. So you may continue to talk about all kind something to do with transportation, let me him say all transportation will be safe, especially in Port Vila.
Thank you, Tuvala. Lo ting plo you Tuvala. I think it's very clear from what you both have said. We've all heard different incidents where it happen where pass because they've been either sexually assaulted or they felt very uncomfortable, didn't feel safe. And yeah, there's so many different situations, different incidents out there. Misho se you've always listened into, you've always have some people or some story where one Kelly make them all same. Now, safe transportation is quite a wide topic, but I think the main angle that I want to touch on for this first half of the episode is, it's when we talk about safe transportation, we're not only talking about vehicles. People walk. Port Vila is quite small. You can get from one place to another just by walking. And I just want to know, because I know that I have my own personal experiences where if I want to get to somewhere, like I have an event or I have to meet somebody, I will think through, how I'm going to get there, what I need to do in order to get there safely. So have either of you, maybe we'll start off with Thompson, have you ever, had to really plan out how to get from one place to the other?
I mean, yes. Firstly, to answer your question, I have been in situations where I have to go thoroughly planning on how to get from one point to the other. And I feel that anyone or something where you may run, you should start practicing before you may go one place to the other place. You may take a time, you may stop, or you may try plan them out no more road you may go. Transportation, how by me go? Is it safer this way or by me safer this way? I mean one something to lo mi fly walk, tawe mi fly ready lo mi fly iko make mal runs lo mi fly pa mi fly mas town first time lo make breathing first time. So ke pa mi fly ko place mi fly ko place. So have one practice where you may run you should start making events you possibly just going kolo stone lo get some errands done or walk pat kolo town. I mean normal walk about you, but I think most save up but you at least take them time first time you plan them out first time walk about you or transportation whereby you take them but you meet them all needs you and then you just make them also one example let me say when it comes to safety and you me young fella you miss the town block lo club safe lo night tablo you me go lo club Mr. Look full up or lista pa ali mas arrange first one transport ali arrange one bus or one friend plol kita mo make him pickups after club ploko putumol kita either la house or one room where libem say for example all girls I'm find that much lo full up all girl town ta lista go out pa ni mas tap mo la room first time Plo pa lista sleep over time we plesi kam te light mi safe plo lista fe pot pa again then pa lista fe stako pak lo house plo kata so kam pak pa again the situation with them question we mi you been asking ma that way you mi that will start making plan plo ko clubbing ya only mas plan em good for stand transportation plo kata just in not the safety plo kata no because like social media na ya you mi start full up all story we start koran with some lol story mi transportation wise safety plol kita mo transportation wali sa tekem no mo ista cosmol kita plol ko through accident so mi one something we should start practicing me plan em all forms of transportation me from one point to the other. So yes, I think it's a good thing to do and I also do it. So yeah, thank you.
Rosina, what are your thoughts? Has there been a situation where you must plan them good, think good this time?
Okay, thank you, Elsie. For me, Savitale say yes and no same time. Itale yes from say the time when me leave Lo Vila. Sometimes say me want to go one place. Me no stop plan transportation. Say one transportation pa me call one time. Me stand move from lo ting me say no pass all start on anytime. Then say me reti block lo town because stand no me stop pass me go. So pa mi Savitale say me want no me no start plan me block lo one transportation. So then me move out Lo Vila me go leave lo no te pate. Na ya me must think seriously na lo transportation so before me want to come to town me must make sure say transportation we pa me take pa me must save after plan the time from say me vlai Mr. Kamlo pass lo morning Mr. ko pak afternoon after me vlai sta ko one pass we Mr. pick up mo Mr. drop off so lo me film say me safe suppose we me ko one other time we pass me no available pa me make sure say me must call them all nara transport well ready anyone when me available we come lot after pa me come lem so lot time me Mr. plan transportation me so me think say I mean, sometimes me do with them all that we saw got access to transportation. Lot time me say no, you got access to transport. Me all pass start run every time. No, you have stop him so you don't need him. You plan him. But I go start one place where me long, same distance long way lot town. All the place where you want to call him. That's when by start putting things as me must plan him. How na ba me go place ya. So that's when planning come inside lemon. So me plan me want something we plan the kill of Ni-Vanuatu. Or lista me especially Port Vila plan the lista me semina. So time come no one time where you make at one occasions where you make at one church activities. Then by looking and say no from say all picnic niya all is so small. You must ready one transportation one pass pay pick ma kota it drop mo kota you will be one ready you say walk pa do you say find one way out me. So list I got all important occasions no then by start by plan people tale say personally o kota lino sta plan all transportation they sta kamul kind issues flow transportation ta one kelly kat one issues with them one transport one something usema then bal start to resema me say you shooting thing first time me be normally lo one more some daily life lo kata only no sa take transportation ka one serious something will supposed to plan. Thank you
I think that that's both very good points and interesting points. I wrote this question. I think I may have done it a little biased. It was from my perspective because, you know, when I have somewhere to go, somewhere to be, I plan it out in my head, how I'm going to get there. And huna pa mi mas talem say, okay, pa mi ko lo place lo time pa mi message you, all of that. But, you know, I guess it's different for everyone. You know, there will be some people who will plan and there will be others who feel like it's okay, they can just stop a bus or walk to where they need to go. Now, I think for the next question, it's another kind of personal question. Like I wrote this question from my perspective, but I want to hear your perspectives as well. Maybe Rosina, you can start off and just share, you know, have you ever gone through one experience where you feel safety please tell a risk?
Okay. I got one time where after one cyclone, I think it's cyclone Chuti. After me come to walk. After me say me come start to walk full day. Pay from time electricity town and something in town. After phone blow, battery blow phone blow me too. Iko flat so me no got chance blow me sabi calling one. Pass plotale se mi stalo tani ka pick ma mi lo so mi mestem pasa You just have to like stop the bus from where office is talem and then kasem lo pumashilo where every man notified the current pass name. So when I got there was no pass. After me stop, trouble hat to me now. This is the first time we me pam we me ting go say. How never make us away from no say phone to me date after lonara ting bagen say na yai no katol pot we plus takolo le pa island we place we me leave lem ale andalem he mistako to tak so na katol the different something will happen we make him say me film say na situations na safe me supposed to me stop one pass na me ko after supposed me ko lo pass supposed any something happen lo how na pa me contact them all family blo me or friend me so one blo the service me mistalo place ya so from say anyone more routine me every day me mistalo work pass is pick map me then me feel say safe pena ya me masa cost to pass and let me cyclone si say after all mono lista pieces stop trying to recover after lo cyclone with this pass no mo chuti then me start ready block color Kevin backen be me gam nota so Mr. Nablo me wait me Mr. me problem hat to me for me no say how long Mr. Nablo me wait ko pass ka me chano pass me ko Mr. Preno mo lahat me save this papa ko you help me you save me no say Mr. Go Mr. Go also one but this is the first time from say me go one transport way me no trust and driver ya me wanna something after nara something to me from lo night suppose me lote but me feeling say it's okay I can go pass it to me when me say kotan number 2 from say place it to tak after number 3 2 from say network coverage town power no card lo road place it to tak we to tak lo road me no got light lo road and then the last thing me from say Mr. Low and this no cyclone and no one me consider more safety measures lo transportation everyone only starting about one me also think about the recovery lo cyclone so no one is like focusing on that one there so suppose me go and something happen let me buy also one so lo time me feel say me have safety let me start low risk one time yeah so that is an example. Thank you, Elsie.
I can't even imagine going through that. I feel like I'd be stressing so much. But you got home safe, right? The bus you dropped at you to house after you just stopped. Was there anybody waiting or no?
No, inakapan man you wait from same phone blooming and I'm you. It went off. So I just go there, pintalo pasum se pa you stop lo place pa mi go down. So when I go down, mi look one mano mo ista walk parlo road mi singa dem se pa you sabe kam sta na pa to road mi go down lo house ya town lo solo talo mi go lo house blow one family one relative not mi no go lo house we pa mi go sleep them so I just go there after mi dalo ta se pa mi stilo sale mi just go lo island from say to tak finish. So lucky se family ka mane we mi lugem road to chem road mi dem go lo house blow family. So inokatuan man istanablo road to wait lo mi mege mi safe tu lo place ape problem se network kita on after phone lo mi tu flat so menos ave communicate ko tale se wani ko istanablo road pe all kind situation pe menos se pe me ko sone we just have to be strong after you try figure out how na pa you mi ko through le ma una pa you mi ke ma una pa mi ko safely la house then so you know makatuan araman plus talo side pe me ke say you feel safe.
Thanks, Rosina. That's a great example. Thank you for sharing that experience as well. I'm now interested to hear Thompson's experience. Have there been any where you feel is a safety blue? So when young fella man, I missed up the risk.
Well, okay, yeah, thank you, Elsie. First off, me never be the way whereby Rosina me put on scenario after me start listening, thinking, let me say, wow, it like really got to me. So these are the measures where one girl must go through them like los safety play especially the him stop one place where me far away from town and go through all kind of situation whereby phone it there's no electricity, network it down and everybody's focusing on other things. So by him feel vulnerable in a way. Suppose me put me the perspective for me lo one boy now that I'm thinking about it. I think safety lo side of accident mo say fall down the track or kind of something about to do with other people's encounter. I don't think me ever come across him. Well, I think me been come across a one where maybe walk past ko pak la house and you been mention him say like it sounds funny but that's how like all boy does say so sometimes where me go severely wrong a thing or some pa ilisa fight them you from money or kind of something. Otherwise it's lo me I guess me consider me lucky. Me one or something me one time share him too lo saita me one me be one girl, I don't know who, me finish school or USP or last month, that made me happen last month no more, me finish school under USP, Mr. Kopaklo house, that was late. It was going for 12 o'clock. And after, fortunately, Mr. One bus, me chamlo bus, there was the two of us. After now one by ko town lo angka in lo town. So bus pick up mi cham lo bus mi vla ka sep town lo angka in mi vla drop him off passenger vinis pe tu vla iluk one kel. I think tu vla save kela. So tu vla singatem kela. Alafta tu vla si you come cham pa yumi koron finis ko putuma prataya alafta yumi ron kampak pa lo town alafta kela tu she was a bit tipsy and him gase mi mista lukatem after stalamol friend blehem. I think hemi mistem rot lo time hemi ko hem one alafta friend blem oli ko the other way. So hem se mista lukatel after talal name friend blem after say mi fles avel keta mi fles as pesuel keta listalhem. So they were lying and yes there se mi fles avel keta listal sifran pe pa yumi ko putum prata hem lo pomasheman blesan mo after mi ron gambak pagin sifran and then gelet cham you can see by the face Mr. Megam say like she's a bit yes I mean me stop mi vleron ko kasi agriculture supplier then hemi attempt to play ask him driver bike and say you sure say al keta listatan lo sifran say yes pa yumi ko putum prata no mo lo pomasheman bless after yumi ko al keta oli stalo freshota in a moment mention sifran mi talena freshota alet instantly ikasem lo mi honest no they're lying. So mimi garana mi tenaran mi lukela mi say you think say safely you or no after kelai keranai hemi like you can see that hemi frighta hemi say no mimi no savena mimi ga hotel friend me after hemi say okay you're right you have any number blo la friend blue say mimi save pe tichisel but sadly mimi got for the phone no more so mimi no ga credit lo tichisel. So I can't help her with that. And what I did was, mitale lo pastrava se mam duvla tugetam duvla cham out lobo mashe man plesia, and then I got her to another bus that I trusted, judging by the driver. Sorry, but like I can see sometimes. So yes, me looks na I me one driver but me save trust them. So me putu Sista lehem and then mitale se pahem ko putum back hem tan because I don't know where pahem go lem se mitale se payu. Either ko putum back hem no town or pa hemi desa talem place pa putulem pempas pleno plesana. So mi habi se mi megema pe mi katintinya tu se wow mi something we olgelo lista kotrule hema even if Olino ask him she was just looking for her friends and one totally stranger or say one friend where me serve from a distance and me come over him one ride and who knows maybe sus mi no tale se pa hemi chamat pa hem pa save entablo wanara something pa again pa mi aben so but thankfully I did that. So yeah, but me personally to do with transportation I'm not proud to say this but I haven't had any issues. Yeah.
Sorry, mi sa fatale munara example one munara something we can go through le miarem. Thompson mi sa talk about story blame after me think about me to got one time when me come across in that same situation where there's another point in the past where me saving me. Pamitale say me really save me out lo pass ya. Be me go inside lo pass me stop and pass me go inside le me no sabe say pass trava me train. He was drunk so I just go there open the pass goes down spell red. Tampas istarona mi arem how pas trava isa tok after istarona pass in staron straight place in say sta kolo any gain konan mo. And then boy great taniran ikrap say Sista you sabe pas trava me no me no sabe me stop and pass up go school le USB after him ikrap say trava emi trong ya pa imi to ko kasi lewes pos him stop plo trope one passenger or one man is stop and pass pa mi open and pass pa imi to come out to pass. So when we go to the what's that market house the fresh water pass stop emi open and pass it you come outside but to take come outside to pass it time say look Facebook trava say no him trong one time. So mi feliz se one could la opportunity one time was him say lo time we poya to está inside the same pass when está with him after him help me out to pass ya. So suppose him está inside no sabe se pa goes one. Pero him say se maglo story and blow one with Thompson Natouivi.
Thank you, Thompson. That was, I think, a lot more young men need to do that. Look full of time only looks obvious like Thompson, your story, there's something not right. Be balista quiet no more no on something. And then it's like they only not think about, the young girl or mama, whoever's in the bus. And your experience as well, Rosina, that was great that guy was like, actually, we need to get out of the bus because potentially something could happen, maybe accident or whatever. And me actually, stand up, but I say safety blame too, and got you both out. And Thompson, for you to say safety blue, you need to get out. So those are great experiences and examples. Thank you so much for sharing. Thompson, I know you don't have any experiences where you feel it's a safety, but you still a risk, but that's all good. I feel like, and this is my personal opinion, baikat fulap young fulap boy with them old man, ol kata tu bai semak. They don't have that kind of ol kata lena go through that experience where they feel their safety is at risk. There was I've just got like a little snippet here from the winning essay from the competition that I mentioned earlier. And it was of this young boy. And a part of his essay towards the end, he goes on to say, the most common types of abuse on public transport includes offensive gestures, winking, leering looks, hurtful insults, and, comments about their body and clothing, unwanted touching, unnecessary leaning. Rosina, I don't know if you've experienced that, but I have, and it's very disturbing. Even like pressing up against a woman or a girl, incident exposure, and sexual assault. So those are some of the types of abuse that can happen on public transport. And these are some of the experiences that, some young women and girls go through when they get on a bus or a public transport to get from one place to another. So I have my own personal experiences as well, where, I was put in situations where I thought something was going to happen to me. I didn't feel safe, but for some reason, the universe was like, not today. And I managed to get home safely. But it was those experiences that now, like today, when I want to get from one place to another, I will take the option of walking because I feel taking a bus isn't safe. And if I do take a bus, I have to jump in a bus with other people and other friends. So usually after work, I'll get in a bus with some of the girls from work. If not, I'm going to walk home. And so that for me is the safest way to get from one place to another. But I want to know, like, for you both, with the experiences that you've had and, the stories that you've heard, what are some ways, or what is the safest way for you to get from one place to another? Thompson, maybe you can go first.
Yes, I think I would also go with the walking. I do that often. When I finish off work, I normally walk back home, and I find that refreshing because it gives me the time to, stress-free and just walk past by people that walk past by and then say good night. So I find that one of the safest form of transportation from my work or school to my house, because, Port Vila, place is small, distance, too mass for athletes like me. I'm just kidding. But yeah, me find myself walk out and me much more safer because you get to choose speed play you enjoy and process play you tayo walk ko park listen on music play you or Mr. Tegama pass no too mass so Mr. Tegama no mota where me one emergency or me one say me shower good things me ready me go out kind of say me no need sweat, then I'll take a bus. But otherwise I would go with walking. As for me, this is the safest way to get from point A to point B. It is walking. One experience, me finish school, me plus to pass, ilet, in minimum service to pass. It was on a Sunday. Me try plus to pass town lo fresh water lo bus stop lo place opposite pomashe fresh water pe passi na kat na mo. But luckily kat security plo USP to hem stock pat plo kam ko lo olen. So me to fla to kata me to fla walk party ko park. So we walked back home. I can't believe I walked back home lo Sunday night. I got back home for sometimes 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, because me walk past and there's nobody in the road. But I think it's gonna be more different on Friday night or on Saturday night because there'd be a lot of drunk people. But still, for me, it's gonna be walking. Otherwise, when it gets too late, I like calling my friends up. Loli can pick him up me, and also if worst comes to worst, then but I would be very picky when it comes to that situation. Yeah,
I think there's I don't know if it's a thing, but I know like other people as well who are picky with their buses. But it could be, and sometimes I'm like, why are you picky? Like, just stop a bus, you're just going home. But it could be a kind of safety thing as well. So everyone's different, but that's okay. So your safest way of getting from one place to another is walking as well. Do you think other young men, I mean, now that I think about it, I like the people walking on the streets are usually boys. Yeah, now that I think about it. But like if any of your friends, like, what do you think their, either it's their safest way, it's their go-to to get from one place to another?
My other friends, I would say they probably choose walking as well, but then they have cars and buses, and so they have their own vehicles. They probably, that's gonna be their safest
true.
Form of transportation, but I think they'd choose walking also. Yeah, I know they would choose walking also.
Yeah, and I guess walking is like a form of therapy in a way, because you get to listen to music, release the stress from work and school and everything. But what about you, Rosina? What is your safest way from getting point A to point B?
Well, with my destination, or where I live, walking, I think by me no one option. If not, maybe I think I'm like a same destination after 24 hours. So I would say, maybe I need to like just identify one pass where maybe I trust them, maybe I call them, and then I suppose we pass it, available, then it's better we call in group. Me find one other one, we have a call one pass. And more safe, between suppose me one me go inside the pass here. Or nara something emi supposed to me go pass me make sure say me got credit the phone below me have contact them anyone suppose if anything happens I can call them or I can text or yes let them go to say want something no okay with them in lo pass yeah so him me one nara something especially with them all kata will leave lo rurola because landen lol man will list akam lo Port Vila emi will list up outside will sem erakor pango mele or eton lowe on nara patlo e fate di sta travel kam lo town so plo kopak lo megemi safe lo kota hemi eta odiko 2 lo one pass hemi mo safe osposo diko kata one odi make sure phone lo kata hemi on after di got credit inside lem lo make sure say lilete mol families lo kata wo eva se kata di pass after odi identify mol pass drivers wo di sabe se podi sabe trust mo tab lo pass mo pass mi safe lo kata tu bloko lem so hemi one all service way when we think say blow one kill when we leave low one rural area we supposed to consider them time we Mr. One depot and one pass transportation local destination blame. Thank you.
I think it really does depend on where you live. Like for Thompson and I, since we live in Port Vila, it's the easier and safest option. Perspective me walk about. But for Rosina and other young women, girls who live north of Fate, it's finding a transport and a driver that they trust. So these are all, very different situations. And I think it really does just depend on where you are. Also, like time of the day, I think that plays a big factor as well. For example, like if I do choose to walk, it's usually I have to walk before the sun sets, because as soon as it gets dark, I start to get paranoid. And I've gone through an experience where, I thought, well, it looked as if somebody was following me, and my immediate thought was that I needed to call someone. And I called my mom and I was like, okay, I think there's somebody following me. she was like, just keep talking. We'll talk until you get home. And I was like, okay. And I made the silly decision to take, to walk down the street where there was like no street lights.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so I was like paranoid. Anyways, so like from that experience and also like from other stories that I've heard from other young girls is that, some girls will walk around with little pocket knives or, a sharp object that they can use in case they encounter some kind of, the girls will know. They know.
The girls will know.
The girls will know. But
sorry, it's just there is totally Muslim after Mr. Thing, but I have to also add in that, well, walking is the safest way, but it depends mainly on where exactly you walk.
The route. Yeah, the
road you take. Because sometimes people walk back home, but it's a road where might take young fellow really being offensive or anything, but so kadali smoke mara na lisa visa stop lorot lo lisa block you make him any something like not lol kel no lol point to me find full up all issue where Polpoli stok pa ko pa klaus pe froli block mo kita from money and after nakat money so mas kill mo kita kain na luckily for me been pass stage but I mean more depend to lo how one road exactly you take and play ko pa house as you walk out all out now then you might get into danger, but otherwise if you walk straight from where you are to where you want to go, then that should be fine. Like for me, I take mol road we katol travel stop pas lehem or semol mantul stop pa lehem ko kam even supposed to me late lo night, so like by late I mean till 8, cause past 8 lo me na let lo walk out now. I have to go by a fair goal, but otherwise before 8 me walking, that's no problem as long as I'm stop on roadway. You got man lehem or truck staron go kam. That's within Port Vila town and where you Mr. Lehem. One more something too is a good thing is Mr. Look full up all girl, especially some little sister blame tal stock but tal ring. Al ring any family member but it's a story no more after lista pa. So I don't know about you guys, but I know that my sisters do that. Like tadi stop lo agriculture supplements, agriculture supplements, stop pas lo gamit, and then just rant about anything. Yeah.
Yeah, those are like some of the, I guess, precautionary steps that women take, like reaching out to someone to say, okay, I'm on my way home, just in case something does happen en route. And so, yeah, there are, I don't know if either of you, you've a harmful story too, well, kel lista walk out with them all small pocket knife, small sharp little objects, and they, carry it around because that's how they feel safe. And, causing any intentional harm with a sharp object is against the law. But, this is the reality. Like girls are, having to carry around like a little weapon because that's how they feel safe. And that's how they know that they are going to get home safely. And Rosina, what are, some of your precautionary steps where you start taking making sure say you kasem house safely? I think you story and finish say, you have a bus driver, you trust the bus driver, him na take you kopa. But are there any other, steps where you take him or maybe a friend or a family member where you survey where hemi start taking in order blow hemi kase place safely?
Okay, Elsie, thank you, Elsie. One or something where me Mr. Mekem at the time, and me man is something do symptoms in me mention about them call lo talk. Me too sometimes me also pa Mr. online after Mr. chat. I let put one friend blue me or one family blue me, but I so Mr. Lopesianaya, or me talk lo phone, blue me should say me feel say me safe no more, me feel secure no ko kasem way, me feel safe as a destination, but me place pa me ko taongle. Pe other than that, suppose we me no save with him, suppose you leave lo Port Vila, me no save say one him na me one ara service way by you save call one transportation or you save move from one place to another. Pe plante time me to with them all timing blue me ana. Suppose we hemi lote pa hemi me kat plante possibility play you safe no more go straight market. But time lo night pa mi consider night na. Kasi Thompson idalam se after lo 8 am se me no saving is na. So after lo 8 pa mi supposed Mr. Lo Vila ya map mi no se one na hemi one save way or one precaution so pa mi take. I think pa mi make sure first time se supposed place where me want to call him, me find him a reason why na me must call a place. Suppose me one reason where me serious too much. And when something was bad, then me must try to find him one friend blow me, one family blow me got one transport, one pass, one car blow me pick me up me blow ko puto me lo place ya. Suppose we me no kat, pakai me lo ko pakpakal no reason why me must call a place ya. Or me must posinit blow me move me ko tomorrow sino pa me takam tomorrow one time. Pe plan the time me Sista all family so paut lo Port Vila lo place time we me after lo 9 o'clock ko se me pali tala lo me na say no you no mo ko pak na you sleep no mo pa me ke pet liu. Me sabe se me happen lo plan te kiel lo min lo Port Vila pali se you sleep no mo pa you ring him family bli no mo tati bli no mo te mami bli le te mo kata sabe se pa you sleep for you no safe na bli ko lo pass. Unless we ring one rapas, we safely can pick up you put to your low house. So MME how all family will take some the concern about them safety place of ali such a stem you sleep. So one way too but you miss at them they walking up you walk out back and blow suppose one kill we me leave lot out me walk out. I mean se pa again se pa it depend the place where me walk out them symptoms in Italem after it depend lo timing blame or we have place where me walk out call him how long distance blame long one also one or we are all man will start a place where me call him. Sometimes all man will start a place animal will create one environment where him no safety is. So when girls go there, or you walk out the place say no place na o kona yana o yes, area yana we olman ulista kilim olman lemo ulista pa imsa talem se one no so offensive even tale se ulista le chose ol one ulista lema se khota na lista aske mani lol man pa so soli aske mani lo mi pa mi me ke so ne mi no gat mani mi sa school et mi ol kain so small tanding so mezo ali friday na li walk pat cross ma street ya so li vilim se environment do say no safe no mo get that's also with walking we boim tale se place lo Vila me lo perspective lo kel we live lo Vila. Yeah, thank you Elsie.
I think as well, like Rosina, you touched more on timing. As an example with Thompson too, we've been sharing earlier on this episode. It was, if the girls are going out, then they will all, chip in to stay at a motel in town. From Siblo listo pe bas bloco pak la house, safety risk. And so that's a big thing. And it sucks in a way that we have to do that, but it's something that it is what it is in a way because we need to stand up and really speak out more on this topic and hold these drivers accountable. Law all behaviors Thompson, what are some of your precautionary steps if you have any? Use that.
Yes, thank you again, Elsie. I do have some steps or say some precautionary ways that helps me avoid any situations where I'm crossing. So one lol kita hemi blomi putu make sure me got credit lo phone blomi mista pa ringima say maybe pinarema Rosina pintale mapauta or kita will stop lo say lo surroundings plin or community pli o place we stale hem area we stale sam lol kita no bali save make a problem to solo lo mi vlek at some ikat pam no talem se mino talem to tapi kat sam yang flow pa sometime like lo middle blow week no bali start ring and Alistaske mania and already by me get some concern so tabi mista ko pa house late maybe make sure me got credit plus ma me ring ma all parents blowing later kata so coming back home now could you please let someone up like I'm with me on top lo place where some pamiko stable atom to kata stop at come back down the house so maybe one otherwise walking around with pocket knives I've been thinking about it but I hardly see myself stabbing someone. So like for
Same,
defense.
Actually,
But no, I don't walk with that. I'll just go around with credit data. I know data me quite expensive, but this is what safety is all about. You have to take extra cautious about your whereabouts. So that we start data, we start update them all places we install him. And but for me, So sometimes I miss to update them by posting on my day. Yes, like even me go out to place and just post. I was like, oh no, last time we Mr. Lem look Dave Lem Mr. Place. So yeah, I'm just one way we Mr. Me Minasala Naraman, maybe me no Mr. Make him. Yeah, this is one of the things we Mr. Make to let's start to safety blow me time Mr. Colon place. Take a photo so at least Solman will say, okay, I was there, I went there. Yeah. But please have to have credit always and keep your phone charged. Yeah. I think that's one of the things we Mr. Tegam blow safety blow me.
Very true. Thompson, that's such a smart idea. Posting on your stories like every hour. I'm here, I'm here, I'm here.
Yeah, some may say it's like, just for
the likes.
Just for the likes. But no, not for me, honestly. I'm just doing this for my safety, guys.
Oh, but that makes sense. And that's a smart way because everybody's on their phone these days. So that's another smart precautionary step that I guess more people could take and do when, they're just doing their thing. I think another precautionary step that I was waiting for one of you guys to mention, but maybe it's just a me and my circle of friends thing is, when a friend jumps on a bus, if my friend jumps on a bus, I automatically text them or take note of the color of the bus, the number plate. If there's any like details of the driver, I'll take that down. And then it's, following up with my friend, like, did you get home? Can you please message me when you get home? Or that kind of situation. And I feel like, Rosina, you do, but you sabi talam if that's something that you and your friends do. But I remember there was this one time where I stopped a bus for my friend and, I made it obvious, like I will make it obvious to the drivers that I'm taking down the number plate and stuff. And, the bus driver, as he was driving by, you hear me sing out the camera, me say, you take a good number plate for me. I was like, yes, I did. I did. I got your number plate. And I texted my friend. And then in my head, I was like, because he was like, he said it in, a laughing kind of jokey way. And I was like, bro, like, this isn't funny. Like, I mean, safety blow. Friend with me, like, and, maybe for some men, maybe it's funny to them that we are taking these steps to ensure that our friends, our family get home safely. But it's not a joke. It's not funny. And this is one of the precautionary steps that mutual friend I hope other people can relate.
Yeah, we all did. I remember this one time when me with them all friend. We got two friends. We blessed all the bills. We like I'm down be from city to finish. After time, me fried to roll. Me say why? Me fried to stop and pass long night. After me grab, I look to say, but me get one plan. He me go create one group chat for me. The same time, like create one group chat. Me vla 3 from me vla stop and pass. Alen harwan he Mr. Kolo olen. After me Mr. Ko paklo si side. So mi fly ko stand up lo fresh water 2 ya. Fresh water 3. Bless stand up ya plus stop and pass. Alem fly talem lo eme we he mi leave town no lo fresh water 2. Bless talem se pa unit ge ma plate number plus pass. So mi fly butu mi ma we ko lo olen this one he stand up ya no right ma plate number plus pass na finish. After mi pa mi go stop em na pass mi go le mi notem down na plate number plus pass finish ta we. Bless talo pass mi text mi se. So itu fly kasi house itu fly itu fly masa seniman message kan pakai lo group chat dale se arrive safely lo ba mi sabi se itu fly arriving is so we did that after if funny we be akian mi blow safety be mi pe da mi hare elsi sa talk to do with the plate number I want something and me what then suppose you want to stop and pass and me better you identify your current plate number pass before you go inside the pass. Tamu pasti stak amlo we istana bloro tu sage handu te istalu lupas we istalu plate number ya tu same time tram blotting usam memorize mo think about plate number ya time we pasti come stop you chamlem suppose any something happen we you want to jump out or one way at least you think about passing or sometimes they you jump out lopas after you can say one kill or one injury but you start feeling pain lo put you know say focus ne pa mi karen number lopas that's one and you think about so you know them down somewhere of on blue way having is and you take it before we jump and say lopas. Yeah.
That's such a good tip. And that's something that I will need to do now. Me think about one time we've been making but like half. I got the I got the color of the bus, the make of the bus, but I didn't get the number plate. So that's a good precautionary step to take as well.
Sorry, Elsie, me pakikian. Hari tu been mentioning small about the plate number thing. Me forgot to mention it, but it is also one practice when me fly me other group of friends last time I came free them before one cham no bus or anyone we cham lo pas lo mivla or one lo mivla cham lo pas mivla sta practice lo current plate number first time. Some people, some driver especially, politician quite offensive for politician say you don't trust them, but it's part of your safety, so you have to. Meeting politika ibin kam one situation where minasabi livla pinhara one story about white box pass stuck around Port Vila ya. Small time I make me friend only fright and all girls specifically all girl members lo group of friends lo mivla. All girls sta fright lo cham lo pass. So mi pinhara one pin talem se before hemi cham lo hemi put to friend blem lo one pass hemi take a for plate number lo one white box pass. Alip take a plate number of white box pass ya. After I think past traffic take semi of a bit offensive after I'll take not trust him. So hemi no shem lo reaction blame hemi shem lo how hemi start response. So tawe past traffic friend na with them driver li out iko vreta sta story behind se tawe to fly out ya. Pas trava with them all passenger behind every place we call him but pas trava pa mista ko festal all and finis al after me out all and but so him start all next destination play one time in a way blow pa make him all passenger li feels cannot li trust him. So I think me one action too so you meet him by he click lo pas trava say okay no they're doing it for their safety. I might as well show them that yeah you can trust me. Yeah.
Absolutely. I have yet to meet a bus driver like that. But I'm glad that he did that, and I'm glad that there are people out there, men out there who understand that all passengers blehem, all kata only something about safety blol kata. And he has the responsibility as well to get them to where they need to go safely. And so yeah, that was a great example. Storian Bliu Thompson, thank you so much. I think this episode was just an opportunity for us to, talk about the extra steps that women and girls have to take when it comes to moving from one place to another, whether it's on public transport or walking. It's these little steps that ensure our safety, but it's also something that not everyone experiences. So I feel like from our discussion today, we've, realized that it's just the women and girls who are taking these extra steps. Thompson, thank you so much for sharing your experience. You did mention that you haven't experienced, a situation where you felt your safety was at risk. And I believe some of your other male friends have gone through the same. They haven't gone through that kind of experience where they felt that their safety at risk. I do understand, with the whole story and with the come out now on social media, with groups of boys, stopping other men, other boys on the road, asking for money, and then choosing violence if they don't get what they want. That's a very recent thing, but I still, believe that the issue with safe transportation for women is still very big as well. And so what I'm trying to say is, the problem isn't how women and girls move from one place to another or what time. Like Rosina, you've been talented there said women feel more safe to travel when the sun's out, not when it's dark. But it's more, that isn't the problem. We're trying to highlight the fact that, there are men out there who are choosing to assault, choosing to, take advantage of these women who come into the transport and harass them. And at the end of the day, Emmy should stop handle kata. They should be the ones to take responsibility for their actions and not have it turned around and Because, there are some situations where why were you walking at this time? Why were you walking alone? Why did you stop a bus alone? You should have done this. You should have done that. When in fact, it's the person who did it. It's the men who choose this type of behavior. So yes, thank you again. Episode. It was a very insightful conversation. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences, for being open, for feeling comfortable to share. Make sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Sista Vanuatu and our website, sista.com.vu. This is Elsie from The Roundtable. If you want to hear more from The Roundtable podcast, make sure to tune in to the next episode.